Over the last few days, there have been rumors, hot takes that guess what? Josh D'Amaro, the new CEO of Disney, was going to fix all the problems of the lackluster Villains Land not living up to the concept art they showed at D23 not so long ago. But you can put those rumors to rest. You can slam the door, folks, because we've got docs, government docs, and they say, stop, the rumors, they're not true. Tomorrowland is not looking so grand after all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel that heeds the call for understanding entertainment and keeping you ahead of the culture curve. Serving up a platter of chatter, hot steaming and with a daily dose of truth with a capital T. Let's dive in today. First, you click the like button, drop a comment down below. We'll let you know why Villains Land at Magic Kingdom not looking so great for families anymore. The internet was all abuzz. The Disney adults shaking in their little Disney booties. Because Lynn Testa over on the WDW Magic forums was saying changes were coming for Disney World. They were all disappointed by what they saw with Villains Land. It did not measure up as we all said it would not, and they wanted something more. And Lynn Testa, who we just adore, we're not trying to be mean to Lynn Testa here. Lynn Testa said, I'm hearing the initial plans for Villains Land have been scrapped. Imagineers have been told to think of bigger, bolder ideas. Budget is secondary. Not sure if this is new players, new game. Josh D'Amaro as CEO. Maybe this was going to be the new Josh D'Amaro Land. Maybe he had been held back by Bob Iger, right? Well, Braden over at Mickey Views had a different view of this and said, while it's possible Lynn Testa knows of a second instance, D'Amaro reviewed early lands of Villains Land and told Imagineer he'd step it up a while ago. He did this with Tropical Americas and Villains over a year ago. I'd be surprised if the plans were being scrapped again. And that's right, folks. If they were scrapping it again, you'd have years of delay added to what they're already doing at Magic Kingdom. And now, out of Blog Mickey, proof positive, you can slam the door shut on the rumors that they're going to do something more. We know that they're going to do like 2 main buildings for Villains Land. It's nothing like what they talked about in the concept art. And people were saying, oh, no. They're going to go back to the drawing board. Josh D'Amaro as CEO, he's going to fix this. It's over, folks. You're getting a Temu version of Villains Land in Magic Kingdom. That's it. Because right here it says Oversight District approves $6.7 million electrical system expansion for Villains Land and cars themed area in Magic Kingdom. And you know, if you're not a pro at this, you might read this and say, what the heck does that have to do with anything, bro? What are you talking about? By the way, this is all the stuff they're doing at Magic Kingdom. Villains Land is supposed to go right in here, right? Well, let me explain. I'll read it to you, then I'll explain why this slams the door shut. Within like 48 hours of the rumor coming out, slams the door shut on it. The Central Florida Tourism Oversight District Board of Supervisors has approved an initial $6.75 million budget for a massive electrical system expansion in support of the cars-themed expansion of Frontierland and the upcoming Villains Land at Magic Kingdom theme park. The budget was unanimously approved. During a late January meeting, the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District Board of Supervisors unanimously approved. Well, that's what it looks like. Exact details have not been released, so we have to do a bit of reading between the lines to figure out what's going on. We'll start with the facts of the recent budget approval, followed by some speculation on what the approval is for. And again, there's a picture of the development that's happening. By the way, about half of that is going to be parking lot. As outlined in documents published for the late January meeting, the SIFTOD Board of Supervisors approved an initial budget of $5 million for the North Service Area Electrical System Extension. Of the $6.75 million, $1 million is for Reedy Creek Energy Services, Design Support Services, $750,000 for professional services, and $5 million for materials. On top of that, there's a 10% contingency for unforeseen problems. And it goes on to talk about what you need to know, which is a 12,000 volt electric distribution service within the North Service Center. And they've got a picture down here. This is the service center. This is Villains Land, where it's going. And this is the service center that will drive the power. They're going to expand. Here's what you need to know, folks. These things need governmental approval, and the electricity increase goes through all kinds of paperwork and documentation and all that. These government documents mean that if they were going to make this expansion any bigger or better, they'd have to go back and change the amount of power they're building into. This thing's done. This is over. Villains Land as a 2 or 3 building thing, not the giant concept art you saw. This is it. It's over. Fake Wizard. It's yet another time of Disney throwing out crazy concept art that just turns out to be a bunch of nonsense. This is the copium, I think. This is the copium they're having to deal with. You can see here, if we go to Disney Tourist Blog, this is the imagery that Disney put out to make people think this is what they're going to get. And it turns out you might get 2 buildings. Maybe they can do 2 buildings and a lot of rock work. I don't know. But Wizard, what do you think about the copium of Disney adults basically they hope that Josh tomorrow's the savior after Bob Iger was not the mousy messiah.
Welcome to the new boss, same as the old boss, is how it seems here. I in a world where you have Epic Universe, which everybody is still talking about, it's been out for a little while now, but everybody's still talking about it. People are still making a pilgrimage to go to see Epic Universe. You've got talks about Pokemon parks happening. You have a walking Pokemon park in Japan that people are traveling all the way to Japan to. You would think that Disney, which used to be like the theme park destination of the world, like you'd think that they would be trying their best to do the best, like pretty much to some degree, spare no expense to getting people back in the parks and willing to pay top dollar. See, that's the other thing. And we've heard Michael Eisner talked about it recently, where it costs too much to go to Disney parks. But they're not doing anything in the parks to justify the expense of paying top dollar to go. So I don't understand what this is. The concept art, once again, gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful. I know that there were some people that had issues with the concept of even doing a villain's land, but let's be real here. Disney has some very iconic villains in its Rolodex, right? It would have been a good idea to have a park around them. That could be cool. That could be something worth going to Disney for. But we're going to get two buildings. And cost of, well, what's it at the cost of? Oh, the Tom Sawyer River. And
Tom Sawyer Island, the Rivers of America, the views of Magic Kingdom.
All that got torn out for these two villain land buildings, and whatever Cars Land is going to be. Nobody wants Cars Land. It's in. They got it in Disneyland. Leave it out there. We didn't need one of those in Orlando. That's insane. But this also, to take it just one step further, this also makes me concerned with what's going where Muppet Vision 3D was. Because if they can't get this right, I don't think they're going to get that right either over in Hollywood Studios.
I think that is going to be one of the most lackluster things you've ever seen. I think it's going to be very sad indeed. By the way, let me show this to everybody, if you don't mind. We'll go to, I want to show you what it was like back when this was announced. Blog Mickey was saying, Permanent Outlines 33-acre construction project for Cars Land and Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom. Folks, look at that blue area. Look at all the space you were going to have. Look at how amazing. Oh my gosh, it's going to be huge. And here's what you're really going to get. You see that space over there? It's already a parking lot. You see this space over here? It's going to be a parking lot. You see this space up here? Going to be a parking lot. You know what you get? You get this area right here. This is going to be cars, and this is going to be Villains Land, and that's it. That's it. And so they're trying to cope with this because this is not what the concept art looks like. It's not. They got hoodwinked again. And so they were trying to say, Josh tomorrow, he's the man. He's going to save us yet again. Bob Iger, it's Bob's fault. Nope. This was done under Josh. So Derek, I don't think that the Disney Dinks are going to have a good time with this. I think we're going to get a very lackluster experience. I don't think it's going to go up against Epic Universe in any way. But, Disney will get to put out their villains, I guess, and have a couple more bars.
What? All right. I'm on the late freight. I'm not a parks guy. What was supposed? Did they announce any attractions or any specifics on the Villains Land?
No, Derek.
Just say, we're just going to have a Villains Land. Like, did they give us any specifics?
Derek, let me, follow along with me, please. You see this image?
Yeah.
Derek, do you see that? This is how awful Disney is. Let me see if I can get this in a different tab so I can make it bigger. Hang on. All right, here we go. Derek, do you see this? Down here in this watery pit with waterfalls. Uh-huh. There's a roller coaster down there, Derek.
That looks cool. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Derek, look up here on top of the mountain. We've got another roller coaster. It's going everywhere. Wow. We've got a castle with a bridge off in the distance.
That's awesome looking.
Yeah. You know what? You get none of this. But this is the difference. They don't announce any of it. They put this out there. It's a nonsense piece of concept art. It's a mood painting. And the Disney people, the fans, they pretend like it's real, and they talk about, what, is that a Vekoma coaster down there in the water? Are we really going underwater in Magic Kingdom? They do this on purpose. They hype them up, and they fall for it every single time.
I think you're going to get that animatronic crow that's in the foreground.
Maybe they get the crow. I was just looking at the crow.
Might get the crow.
Can we get that at least? That's probably going to chew up all of that. So the electricity, what you're, I guess, getting at is that the electricity amount that they have allotted to this land isn't going to be enough to do much of nothing.
It's locked in. There's no changes coming. They're not. It's not back to the drawing board like they're trying to pretend. Like Lynn Testa started this rumor, and God bless Lynn Testa. I'm not trying to be mean to him, but it's just it's fun to talk about.
Do they not realize that they need to compete with Epic Universe, or do they think they already have like? To me, I'm going to be in Orlando at MegaCon, and I have zero desire to go to this Disney World. I'm trying to get into Universal, and I'm trying to go to Epic Universe, and I'm trying to do other things other than whatever this is.
Derek, all right, anything with you except
I've been one time as a kid to like Disney World, and to me, like when I talk to my family, hey, what would you like to do if we all took a trip to Orlando? Everybody says Epic Universe, Epic Universe, Epic Universe. So no one cares about, and these are people that have never gone to Walt Disney World, and they just want to go to Epic Universe because that's where all the major like franchises are: Mario, How to Train Your Dragon, all of that. So that's what they're interested in. So is Disney just kind of forgetting that they need to give audiences and fans something they want? Why am I asking that question? Of course they have, because they've done it in everything that they've done, their movies, TV shows, etc. They're just not giving people something that they want to buy, and it seems like this is just repeating that.
It's a phenomenal question, Derek. It really is, because the answer is not what people expect. There are two different clienteles for these resorts, right? So for Universal, there's a completely different clientele. Disney has made a strategic change. The Disney World that you remember from 10, 15 years ago is not what Disney is today. They have modified the Disney parks to be a boutique experience for the ultra rich. And then what they do is, because they need lots of people in the parks, they got to fill in the parks. And there's only so many ultra rich, but the ultra rich will pay just unbelievable amounts of money for their once in a generation trip to Disney with their kid for the castle, right? They'll drop $10,000 in a hotel room to sit on the water. It's the same hotel room as what everybody else has got, but it's on the water. They'll do that, right? Okay. So Disney, what they figured out and what they're doing right now is they're saying, okay, we're gonna offer crazy levels of experience to people who can pay for it. And then we're going to fill in all of that space, the empty parking lots, the empty rides. We're going to fill that in with locals. We're going to make it so cheap to go to Disney for Floridians that the parks seem busy and crowded, but they're aiming for the whales. The same way that people used to do, or companies used to do and still do for mobile gaming. This is the same concept. It's the exact same concept. Universal acts differently. So Universal, they're still going for the middle class and for Floridians as well, but the middle class. They want the middle class to come fill their parks. Disney doesn't want to do that. The reason Disney doesn't want to do that is because they decided at some point they didn't want to increase capacity. Increasing capacity means that they have more maintenance. It means they have more CapEx. It means they have more to take care of and more staff. It's just, it raises their bottom line all the time, 365. And what Disney decided was, what if we just catered to a smaller group of people who can pay a ton more money? And that's why they're doing this Villains Land, because they're going to have ultra rich exclusives here, I'm sure. And it's not going to be an area that's aimed at kids. It's going to be aimed at what they call dinks, right? Disney adults without any kids. That's who's going to be here. And they're going to be drinking. The dinks will be drinking tons and tons. They didn't have enough. They don't have enough liquor at the other places, Magic Kingdom, but Villains Land will have it there. You can drink what you far.
That's why Disney is irrelevant. And that's why they're going extinct, because, you have to tap into the general audience. You can't try to sell all of your goods. Like, imagine it's like a 5-star restaurant, right? It's like only, the top elite can go to that. We can't afford, $100 dinner plates. We want to get our, the normal everyday average consumer. This is what they want. They want to be able to go to a theme park with their kids, with their kids' friends, and just have a fun time. And it seems like Disney has gone completely away from that. I used to have Disneyland passes, and they were like nowhere near what they're worth now. But I used to take my kids every day after work, and we had a blast. We enjoyed ourselves, and my kids loved it. And those are memories they still talk about to this day. But it seems like Disney is not in the habit, I guess, of trying to recreate those same memories for folks like myself. So that's why I haven't been to Disneyland in about 15 years.
Derek, do you remember Fast Pass?
Desire to go back.
Do you remember Fast Pass?
Yeah, that's what we use. Yeah, exactly.
You remember it was free, right? You paid your ticket, you got Fast Pass, it lets you skip lines.
Yeah.
Okay. So what Disney did after the pandemic, under Josh D'Amaro, you ready for this one? And they want this guy to be the savior of the parks. Josh D'Amaro, after the pandemic, brought back Fast Pass, but renamed it Lightning Lane, and they added something called Lightning Lane Premier. And what that is it's Fast Pass that you used to have for free, but it's now $450. And they're selling out of the Fast Pass Premier passes because the ultra rich buy it so they can skip every line. And that's the difference in Disney from 15 years ago versus today. $450 on top of a $200 ticket, and you get the same thing they used to give to everybody. To everybody.
That's wild. Yeah, Disney used to be for families, and we loved going. But there's a reason why I haven't gone in 15 years. And that's it, because it's just got too expensive, too crowded. It's just not worth the price of admission.
Lauren, I feel like a wet blanket, though. I feel like I'm just a negative, I don't know, negative. I'm not a Nancy. What am I? I don't know. But whatever I am, Lauren, maybe I shouldn't bring out the government documents and the permits and the files that, show this is locked in. Maybe I should let people dream. I'm a bad guy, Lauren. I feel badly about this. What say you?
Yeah, you're a bad guy.
Well, that'll do it, folks. I know you want more. You want more of the Pro Channel, folks, but we've got to head out the door for this video. But fret not yet, for more content is yet on the way. 3 times a day, thrice as nice, right here on the Pro Channel. Oh, what's that you say? You want more than that? Fine, we'll do 4. 4 videos. Well, yeah, that's happening. Folks, as you get ready to go, consider clicking the like button for us. It is a huge help. Also, like, share, subscribe, and click it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. We would also love it if you could drop on down and give us a comment. We love hearing from you. And although we can't respond to every single comment, we often are reading them indeed. Folks, we would encourage you to consider subscribing to our partner channels, that Park Place, that Game Place, and that Pod Place. We love them all. We think you might too. Until the next time we have the joy of joining with you, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.